Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I would love for you to subscribe. In today's video I've shown you how I've done this really soft, natural kind of glam. Just felt like going for something soft and pretty today, so this is what I came up with. Not sure how I'm feeling about these lashes. I don't really feel like they suit me, but they're what I've got on now, so yeah. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this video and please give it a thumbs up if you do, it means so much to me. But let's get into the video. Okay, so I'm gonna go for something like soft and hopefully pretty today. I'm going through one of those phases, I don't know if anyone else has this, where you know when you just feel like I look gross all the time. So trying to make myself feel better by putting on a bit of makeup. So I'm gonna do it a bit differently today and I'm gonna start with my skin. So I'm gonna start off and conceal, like, I've got some redness here and a little bit on my chin. So I'm gonna use that the stick from my Primark video, concealer stick. I'm just gonna put it on any red areas, and also I get a bit like patchy over here, so just gonna, it doesn't need to be like fully blended in because obviously I'm gonna put foundation over the top. And around my nose, so I get redness around here. Now I've got that covered up, I'm going to go in with my Primark foundation. As you can see, I've got through quite a lot of this, so just goes to show that it is really good. So I still recommend it. I use this like for work and stuff, but it's the lightest foundation I have at the moment, and I've like scrubbed my tan off, so yeah, I'm going to use that today. And I just put like 3 pumps of it on my brush and just dot it around my face and then just buff it in. This is one of the iconic London brushes that I've spoken about before. This is a really good set for like if you just want brushes and you want sort of everything included. I would recommend these, and they're such good quality as well. I've had these for like nearly 2 years and they still feel like brand new. I filmed a brush cleaning video, so that's going to be up soon, so you'll get to see how I sort of keep them in such good condition. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit more just to cover up like my chin. I just needed a little bit more coverage there, and a little bit more on my cheeks as well. I just like to spend quite a long time like patting it in, just making sure that it's not sitting on the top of my skin and like really pressed in. Otherwise when you start going in with like concealer and contour, it's all just going to move around. So just spend a little time pressing it in. Okay, now that's done, I'm gonna put on my concealer. I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty concealer. This is the shade 145, and just gonna go, you don't need a lot of this by the way, it's like really creamy, on the side of my nose. I put a little bit on my nose as well, some there. And I'm just going to leave that to sort of sit there for a second. Whilst I do, I'm going to do concealer, giving this another go. This might be too dark for me with no tan on. I mean, it's pretty dark with tan on, but a dot there, and then blending it in with this brush again. So as you can see, when you're using the right brush, unlike what it was last time, it blends out really nicely and it's not difficult to blend at all. And sometimes I like to do my contour first because then I can blend my concealer down into it and then it's a nice like gradient between the two. And I also like to use it to warm up my face a bit, especially times like these when I have no tan on. I can feel a bit like pale, so it's quite nice to have a little bit of colour back into the face, because I don't feel like it's as easy to achieve with a powder bronzer. Hopefully you can see what I mean now. I don't look so pale, which is, you know, always a good thing. And now I'm just going to blend this concealer out, so leaving it to sit there like makes it just a bit more full coverage. Blend it down into the concealer. Well, I mean technically it's a concealer, but into the contour. So to blend them together on my forehead, I'm going to go back in with this brush and just blend that out so it's not so much of a harsh line, if you see what I mean. I'm actually going to do a little bit of nose contour today, so I'm going to take my Makeup Revolution foundation stick. This is the shade F11, and I'm using this like angled brush. This is from BH Cosmetics, and what I do is I just go like that and then just lightly take it down the nose. And then I just blend over that with the sponge, so it's not like a harsh line. So now that that's done, I'm going to bake under my eyes. I'm using my Revolution baking powder and this brush, and I'm just going to tap that on. This powder does get everywhere. That's one annoying thing, because you can't really like tap it out. The lid's not big enough, so it literally ends up everywhere. Like so, like a powder moustache, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do at the end of the day. Let's set the rest of my face with my Charlotte Tilbury powder. This is the Airbrush Flawless Finish in the shade Medium, and I'm just gonna tap that on, as I don't want to be moving around the product I've already put down, so just tap it on, that'll do the trick. Okay, I'm gonna leave that to bake for few minutes and then I will be back. Okay, gonna take off the powder now. It's been a few minutes just watching an Ellen video, so I thought now would be a good time to take it off, so I'm just gonna swipe it off like so. You just want to like spend as long as you need to get all that powder off, so you don't end up looking really powdery and dry. So just spend a couple of minutes just blending that in, wiping it off, whatever. Okay, that seems to be off. So now I'm going to go in with bronzer. I'm using the Doll Beauty Gimme Sun bronzer. This is the medium one, and I'm using this brush and I'm just going to go over where I've contoured. And then I'm just going to take a little bit down my nose. And then again just go over it with the powder brush. And just go around, just make sure it's all nicely blended out. Okay, once you're happy with how it's blended, let's go in with some blusher. I'm going to use my Primark palette today, and I'm going to use both of these blushes. I'm just going to go between them both, so I don't want it to be too matte. And then just tap it on above where you put that bronzer. These are like so pigmented, I actually still can't get over this makeup. I'm going to use this palette as well for the highlight, so I'm just going to use this light colour here and put it on my cheek, obviously. Okay, I think that's skin pretty much done, so I'm going to start with my eyes now. So I'm just going to zoom in and then get started. So I'm doing the usual priming with the Makeup Revolution. I'm not going to use too much, so I don't really need to. I'm not doing like a heavy look or anything that needs loads of concealer, and I'm just going to press that in with a sponge today rather than a concealer brush, as yeah, like I said, I just want this to be really soft. I don't want like loads of concealer caked on there, so I think a sponge is the best thing for that today. Palette that I'm going for today is the Tarte, it's called Tartlette in the Bloom, and it looks like this. This is upside down, but the mirror is there, so yeah, really pretty and nice for a soft sort of look. So the first shade I'm going to go in with is this one here. It's called Sweetener. Oh no, it's called Sweetheart. And I'm just going to use this fluffy brush and just take that through the crease. To be honest, I could have like set the concealer today. When you're doing soft looks, you don't really need to use like unset concealer. I just sort of forgot, but you know, it's fine either way. I don't know where you can get Tarte in the UK. I picked this up when I went to New York the first time, from Sephora. I think you just have to pay for it to be shipped over. When I went to New York, I really wanted to get the Shape Tape, but they didn't have it in Sephora. They said I had to go to Ulta, and it was our last day, and I don't think it was near Times Square, which we like weren't really venturing out of because we had to get our car to the to the airport. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed, but oh well. I think at some point I might just pay to get it over here because I really want to try it. So and then I'm also just gonna blend that through the edge. I'm not being very like technical with how I'm doing it either. I'm just sort of blending it, just trying to make it look really soft. So just using like circular motions really. Buffing it out. Then I'm also going to use the shade this one here called Smarty Pants, and I'm just going to use that same brush and I'm just going to do that softly just to give a little bit more definition, like so. And then I'm going to take Funny Girl, this one, on my finger and just put that on my lid. So then I'm just going to take that fluffy brush again, just blend it out so it's not a harsh line. So I'm going to do a bit of eyeliner, but I'm going to do it with this palette. So I'm going to take the shade Leader, which is this one here, and I'm using a liner brush and just like that. I'm just going to drag it across my lashes and then just sort of like smoke it out at the same time. So that's how it looks. You could always wing it out if you want to, but winged liner just doesn't really suit me, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Right, I'm just going to pop on mascara. So I'm using this one. It's from L'Oreal. Okay, I'm going to hop off camera now and finish off brows and put on some eyelashes, and then I will be back and we'll finish off with the lips. So for lips I'm using MAC Lip Liner in Oak, and then I'm using the Maybelline Superstain Matte Ink in Driver. So yeah, I'm just going to fill my lips and then put that on. Okay, this is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. I would love for you to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.